If you knew my whole story, you'd be proud of me.
He says, I will bless you according to how you treat your woman.
My mom literally called the sheriff department the day before because he was stalking her.
There are calls for justice after a woman was shot and killed outside the Spalding County Courthouse. Valerie allegedly shot Evans a number of times, killing her.
Had they had someone walked out with her, like, her friend asked, she would still be here.
I'm about to tell you something that'll make you want to throw your phone. Crystal Evans caught her husband fucking men behind her back. She exposed his double life on Facebook. Left a paper trail of death threats so thick you could choke on it. Did everything we tell women to do. And you know what? He still hunted her down like an animal, 5 bullets. Broad daylight, right outside the courthouse, where she just begged a judge to save her life. He knew nobody would stop him. Because in Griffin, Georgia, death threats are just paperwork. This is the story of Crystal Evans, a mother.
Nice. Gotcha. You're so silly.
A businesswoman, a fighter who should be planning her daughter's wedding right now instead of haunting our headlines.
If you knew my whole story, you'd be proud of me.
You're on TikTok Crimes. We cover what happens when social media fame turns fatal. TikTok stars, Instagram couples, Facebook influencers. When their posts become crime scenes, we break down exactly what went wrong. These aren't just viral stories. These are real murders, real victims. Subscribe right now if you want the truth behind the trending hashtags. Because by the time something goes viral, somebody's usually already dead. Here's what happened. Griffin, Georgia. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's one of those cities where violence is just part of the landscape. The crime rate, double the national average. And this is where Crystal was born in 1980, where she grew up, where she thought she'd grow old. Before she became a headline, before she became a hashtag, Crystal was just Crystal, you know the type. The woman who lights up the whole damn room. She had this warmth about her that just drew people in. Not fake, not forced, real. The kind of person you meet once and remember forever. So in 2010, Crystal's 30 years old and she marries Tom Mallory. Now here's the thing, they weren't strangers. These two had known each other since they were kids. Same town, same schools, probably rode the same bus. That kind of history, that kind of familiarity. It makes you think you know someone, right? Makes you think you're safe. They did all the things happy couples do. Traveled the world together. Posted those annoying vacation photos we all secretly love. Crystal really thought this was it. This was her person. God, she was wrong. Their daughter Precious came along pretty quick after the wedding. And Crystal? She didn't just become a mom. She became mom, you know what I mean? The kind who goes all in. Family dinners every night, birthday parties that looked like Pinterest exploded, vacation photos plastered all over Facebook. She was building something, a life, a legacy. But Crystal wasn't just about the mom life. No, she and Tom, they built a whole business together. Mallory, TNK Contracting Incorporated, construction company. Started small, grew fast. And yeah, Tom's name might have been on the paperwork, but Crystal, she was that company. Operations, logistics, finances, all her. She had that combination, you know? Creative but organized, tough but graceful. The kind of woman who could negotiate a contract in the morning and host a dinner party that night. Then, the cracks started showing. And I'm gonna be real with you. The first crack was the cheating. Tom starts stepping out on Crystal. And look, I know what you're thinking. A man cheating on his wife. What else is new, right? But Crystal, she tried. God, she tried to hold it together. For Precious, for the business, for this life they'd built. She started posting these little videos on Facebook. Nothing direct. Nothing that would blow up Thanksgiving dinner, just hints. Little comments about feeling neglected, disrespected. You know how we do. We tell the internet what we can't tell our friends.
So God says to men, he says, I will bless you. Check this out, brothers. This is big. This is big. He says, I will bless you according to how you treat your woman. He says, I will answer your prayers according to how you treat your wife.
And then, in 2020, she posts this whole thing about how they've fallen back in love, how God restored their marriage. She'd been ready to divorce him at the start of the year, but now they were good. Sure they were, because here's what Crystal didn't know yet. Tom wasn't just cheating. The man was living a whole other life. And when she found out, when she finally found out who he was cheating with, everything changed. See, Crystal discovered that her husband, this man she'd known since childhood, who she'd built a business with, who'd fathered her child, was having affairs with men, multiple men, and using their money from the business she ran, to buy these men cars, take them on vacations, wine and dine them while she's at home raising their daughter. Now, I need you all to understand something. This isn't about him being with men. This is about the lying, the manipulation, the betrayal, the stealing. This is about making your wife look stupid while you're out here living your truth on her dime. And Crystal? Oh, she didn't handle this quietly. Nope. She did what she'd always done. She took it to Facebook. But this time she brought receipts. She posted a whole ass recording of Tom fighting with one of his boyfriends.
You a car. What more can you say about it? Huh? What more can you say about it? You fuck faggot, you fuck boy. I can say that. I can keep saying that. Insurance on the bitch. They didn't got out of town. Nigga, you ain't put no insurance on it. You put insurance on it, the car still be on the road. Don't you so stupid. Goddamn said. You so stupid. Nigga, you tell me, can you do that? No, you can't do that shit. Because you know why? Because you're a bottom nigga. You so stupid. That's why you can't goddamn do it. You're a bottom nigga. It's cool when I get out there, just have that energy.
She even made this long post wondering why wives are always the last to know. Talking about all the gifts Tom bought for these men. Said she'd been on the wrong team all along. You know what? Good for her. She had every right to be mad, every right to expose him. But looking back, maybe she shouldn't have. Because Tom was about to show her exactly what kind of man he really was. 2022 rolled around and Crystal finally said, enough. Filed those divorce papers. Should have been simple, right? Sign here, split assets, move on with your life. But those Facebook posts she'd been making, every screenshot, every recording, every public call out. Yeah, Tom had been watching and filing for divorce after humiliating him online. That flipped a switch in this man. Crystal tried one more time to reason with him, posted directly to him, begging, just go be with your boyfriends, live your life, leave me and these kids out of it. Simple request, human request. Tom's response? He became her personal terrorist. He started showing up everywhere, her house at weird hours, following her to the store, trailing the kids after school. This wasn't love. This wasn't even regular stalking, this was intimidation. Crystal knew it. We all know what that feels like when someone wants you to know they're watching. She kept posting about it because what else could she do? Videos of him lurking. Screenshots of him driving past her house for the 10th time that day. She straight up called him sick in one post. Told the whole world this man was dangerous. Then he stole her car, not borrowed, not took the keys by mistake, stole it. Crystal had to post asking people to watch for her vehicle, begging anyone who spotted it to call police. Can you imagine? Your ex just takes your car. When she got it back, she immediately had it repainted. New color, new energy, washing him off of it. But wait, let me back up. Because Tom showing his true colors, that started way before the divorce. 2019, this man fired a gun outside Crystal's house, a warning shot. 3 years before she even filed papers, he was already telling her, I can end you whenever I want. And then, this part kills me, after shooting that gun, he files a false active shooter report, trying to flip the script, make it look like someone else did it, maybe make Crystal look crazy. Who knows what goes through a mind like that? Crystal did what she could. Filed her first protective order in early 2023. Then something happened. Maybe fear. Maybe he promised to change. And she dismissed it. Asked the court to drop it. The second order? Both of them no-showed to court, so it got tossed too. That's when Tom went completely off the rails. He forged a deed to her house, got hold of a notary stamp somehow and tried to literally steal her home on paper. One day he shows up and barricades her inside, won't let her leave her own house. And while she's trapped there, he tells her, calm as anything, that he's going to kill her. Why? So his daughters inherit the property. He said it just like that. Matter of fact. Like he was discussing the weather. February 2023. Someone confronted him about breaking into Crystal's place. His response? Cut off her water. Cut off her power. Cut off her internet. Left her sitting in the dark like we're in medieval times or something. But that wasn't enough for him. This man would slide under her house, to listen to her conversations. Then he'd pop up later, taunting her with things he'd overheard. Told her she was acting like a white girl, and that's why he'd have to kill her. Meanwhile, he's selling their shared property without her knowledge, taking assets from the business she built and cashing them out. Every month, for 2 years, Crystal posted warnings. This man says he's going to kill me. Not hinting, not suggesting, flat out telling the world, Tom Mallory wants me dead. Her friends saw it, her family saw it. Hell, her kids watched this nightmare unfold. She gathered affidavits from everyone. Statements, testimony, proof that this wasn't in her head. August 2024, she filed for an emergency protective order. Laid it all out. The stalking, the threats, the break-ins, the financial theft, everything. September 11th, 2024. Finally. Judge Benjamin Cooker grants the order. Tom can't come within 500 yards of her. Crystal begged, and I mean begged, the judge to have Tom arrested right then. This man has threatened to kill me, she said. He's dangerous, she said. My life is in danger right now, she said. The judge? Nah. The judge decided Tom could turn himself in whenever he felt like it. Like this was a parking ticket. Like death threats were just words. Crystal left that courthouse knowing the truth. A piece of paper wasn't going to stop Tom. So she did the only thing left. She warned us. She just didn't know it would happen the very next day. September 13th, 2024. 2 days after that protection order. 2 days after Crystal warned us on Facebook. Tom had a hearing that morning at the Griffin Courthouse. Something about forged financial documents and violating probation. Crystal decided to go, I don't know why. Maybe she wanted to see him face consequences for once. Maybe she thought surrounded by cops and judges, she'd finally be safe. She brought her daughter Precious and a friend. Strength in numbers, right? Everything was fine during the hearing. Normal. Precious had somewhere to be, so she grabbed her purse and left before it ended. Just walked out, left her mom with the friend. Soon as that door closed behind her daughter, Crystal's whole body changed. Her friends saw it. That feeling when you know you're exposed, when you know danger's close. Her friend was scared too. Asked a court clerk, "Hey, can you get a deputy to walk my friend to her car?" Simple request. The answer, nothing. Nobody came. Crystal waited. Let Tom leave the building first, gave him time to clear out. Then she said goodbye to her friend and started walking to her car. Security cameras caught her crossing the street alone. Just another woman leaving court. Heading to her vehicle in broad daylight. Tom was waiting. He'd been sitting in his car. Patient, watching that door. The woman who'd exposed him, who'd told the world his secrets, who dared to leave him. She was finally alone. No daughter, no friend, no deputies. He pulled out his gun and shot her. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5 shots. Broad daylight, right there in the parking lot. The whole neighborhood heard it. People scattered, running, screaming. Crystal collapsed in the street. Tom peeled out, tires screaming. But here's the thing about shooting someone outside a courthouse. The place is crawling with cops, Griffin police, Spalding County deputies. They all jumped in their cars. The chase was on immediately. They pursued him through the streets, around corners, probably past the house they'd once shared. Tom had to know it was over. No escape when half the police force is on your tail. When they finally boxed him in, surrounded his car, you know what this coward did? Put that same gun under his jaw and pulled the trigger. Couldn't face what he'd done. Couldn't face prison. Couldn't face the world, knowing what he was. Back at the courthouse, deputies were working on Crystal. First aid, CPR, everything they had. But 5 bullets. She died right there in that parking lot. In the same spot where she'd begged for protection. In view of the courthouse, where a judge had let her killer walk free. Tom though? Tom survived. The bullet went through his jaw, but didn't kill him. They rushed him to the hospital and saved his worthless life. The public explosion was immediate. Crystal's friends, her family, everyone who'd watched her beg for help for 2 years. They were done being quiet.
My mom literally called the sheriff department the day before because he was stalking her. She even showed them that the PTO that she was granted for life Wednesday from the divorce, and they did nothing.
The sheriff's department got torched online. How many calls did she make? How many posts did she write? How many times did she literally say, "He's going to kill me"? Sheriff Daryl Dix finally had to come out and make a statement. And oh boy, this man had the nerve to say Tom and Crystal had a toxic relationship. That both of them would call with complaints about each other. That witnesses couldn't corroborate their stories. That his deputies didn't know Crystal had asked for an escort that day. A toxic relationship? A toxic relationship? This woman documented years of death threats, and you want to both sides this. He actually stood there and blamed the law, not his deputies. Said their hands were tied. Said the same deputies who couldn't protect her were the ones who tried to save her life in that parking lot. Precious wasn't having it.
Had they had someone walked out with her, like, her friend asked, she would still be here.
The community was furious. How does a woman leave that much evidence, that many calls for help, that clear a paper trail, and still end up dead? How does a judge get handed proof of death threats and decide an arrest can wait? How does a system fail this completely? And then we found out Tom had a whole history of violence. This wasn't his first rodeo. But that judge, the one who could have saved Crystal's life with one decision, he's still on that bench, still making decisions about women's safety, still got his job. Crystal Evans was 44 years old, a mother, a businesswoman, a woman who built companies and raised children and documented her own murder because she knew nobody else would fight for her. Precious lost her mother in a parking lot, lost her to a man who valued his secrets more than a human life. Lost her because every single person who could have helped decided it wasn't their problem. Crystal had been happy after that divorce, Precious said. She was planning a party, starting fresh, building a new life at 44. She had plans, dreams, a whole future. All gone, because apparently in Griffin, Georgia, when a woman says, "He's going to kill me," that's just paperwork. Just another complaint. Just another crazy ex-wife making noise. If you're living in fear right now, if someone's threatening you, document everything like Crystal did. But don't stop there. Demand action. Demand arrests. Demand protection. Don't let them dismiss you. Don't let them minimize it. Don't let them call it a toxic relationship when it's abuse. Because Crystal Evans did everything right. Everything we tell women to do. And she's still dead. What more could the courts have done? What more could law enforcement have done? I think we all know the answer to that. Her story isn't unique. But maybe, if we keep telling it, keep saying her name, keep demanding better, maybe the next Crystal Evans gets to live. What do you think? What would you have done differently? Let me know in the comments. Because this can't keep happening. It just can't.